one came out December 16th this year.
Yo, Big D hosting the Open Sports Mic. We got Rich, we got Bear, we got Jason, we got Jeremy. Oh boy, let's see. We're talking.
It wasn't me, guys.
We're talking all things Packers, Bears. We're talking all things Mike Tomlin leaving the series, and wait, I think Justin Herbert just got sacked again.
My God, he had 30 QB hits on him in that game. Somebody's trying to blame Justin Herbert for losing that game. Blame the O-line. Blame the O-line. Make it right.
And by the way,
they have an O-line? I thought they were all injured.
No, they had 5 tackle sleds with too big of a gap between them.
Okay, so while everyone's here, let's see. We've got a heavy NFC North thing. I hear there was this rivalry game on Saturday. I don't know, featuring 2 teams. Don't like one another, and 2 coaches who, frankly, could give a hoot. Bears, and it turned into a wild shootout that West Texas has never seen.
Actually, I'm happy Jason's here tonight, not because he's a Packers fan, but also because he's a Packers fan, because he's about to get what I'm going to say. I think it's hilarious that some in the Packers community, and I know Jason's not one of them, they're all like, oh my God, I can't believe the handshake. I can't believe what he said in the locker room after the game. Hello, it's a rivalry. I think Ben Johnson gave the appropriate answer. It's a rivalry. Of course I hate those guys. I mean, duh. Right.
No, I agree with you, Ken. I thought just like you. I thought everyone else on social media was making a mountain out of a molehill. And you know what? As a Packers fan, I had no problem with Ben Johnson only giving a little finger rub to Matt LaFleur and then subsequently saying F the Packers in the locker room, because you know what? Quite frankly, he had every right to do that. His team came from an 18-point deficit to kick our asses. Bottom line, there's no other way to slice it and dice it. And you know what? Considering that they came back from an 18-point deficit the way they did with that dominant effort of defense in the second half, quite frankly, he deserves to say F the Packers. So you're right. I have no problem with him not doing that. It's like, would Tommy Lasorda have shaken the hand of Roger Craig after the Dodgers beat the Giants in an NL West showdown? Absolutely not. Would he have said fuck the Giants? Absolutely. So it's the same thing here. You're right, Ken. I have no problem. Deep down inside, I don't like it, but I don't have a problem with it.
No, it's the rivalry. It's the way it's supposed to go. I mean, look, and Packer fans talk so much crap to Bears fans over the years. Bears fans were like, you know what? Is it a little chilly outside? I hear the Iceman cometh for you. I mean, well, look, there's some playfulness with it. At the same time, like, so he said, F the Packers, F them guys. Big game, huge emotion. You got your team going to the next round. If the roles were reversed and Matt LaFleur said, like, okay, that's the rivalry. That's what you put on the bulletin board next year. If you're LaFleur, you say, remember when he said this? And if you're the Bears, you go, hey, remember what Bullard said after the game that we didn't do anything special? Right? You put that on the bulletin board. I mean, this is a rivalry. This is what makes it so great, because there is so much bad blood and trash talk that goes between them. I mean, look at Ace in the comment, F the Bears. Well, you know what? FTP. F the Packers, because you know what? I love Packer fans right now because there's a cold reality. Oh yeah, it's getting chilly in here. The Iceman's starting to come, guys. This is a chilly reality for Packer fans. In the Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love era, 0 NFC championships or 0 NFC North championships. Make that right. 1 playoff win against Dallas. Okay, I'll give him credit for that. Now, under Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, 2-1 against the Packers, an NFC North championship, a playoff win against, the Packers. And Caleb Williams, by the way, career is now 3-2 against Jordan Love and the Packers. Do you think there might be a changing of the guard going on a little bit in the North? So Packer fans can sit there and keep talking all this smack, but the numbers are starting to flip, guys.
Jeremy, as a fellow NFC Norther, how did you feel about the botched handshake and the F-bomb dropped by Ben Johnson afterwards?
I thought it was classic.
I'm sorry,
I did. But at the same time, as much as you can say that the Bears won that game with that big comeback in the second half, you can also say the Bears collapsed. They fell flat in their face the entire second half. The awful play calling the whole second half. But in the first half, Ben Johnson channeled his inner Dan Gamble and went for it 3 times in field goal range on 4th down and got none. If they didn't, they'd never been.
I will also say this: Jordan Love did not lose that game for the Packers. No. Jordan Love threw 4 touchdowns and had no interceptions in that game. Granted, he was shut down in the second half, but Jordan Love did not lose that game. So any Packers fan who stands up and says Jordan Love lost that game needs to go back, look at the box score, watch the game all over again to see how well he actually played in ultimately a losing effort.
In the first half, look at the Bears started out with a very good first drive and came away with a field goal. And then, trying to maximize possession, knowing field goals wasn't going to do it. He tried to put on some 4th downs, Dan Campbell style, and didn't get it. But this game really, for me, was a tale of 2 games. It was like 2 games in one. The first half was the first game, and Green Bay kicked Chicago's ass pretty much all over the place. Chicago had some limited success, whatever. The second half, the Bears kicked the Green Bay Packers' ass all over the place. The Packers have some limited success. Yeah, it wasn't like, if you want to talk about choke jobs, you could say, these people are trying to say, well, the Packers just choked. Well, the Bears choked the whole first half away. They both choked the half away. The thing was, like, even with the Packers, if you will, choking in the second half, if Caleb Williams doesn't go Air Caleb, because now you've seen they're doing the Air Jordan thing with that throw, right? If he doesn't make that, whatever the hell that throw was, to Romadunze on that 4th and 10, game is over.
I must say, that throw Caleb Williams made may be the best throw I've ever seen him make. He's going to his left, off the wrong foot, and delivers a seed to Romadunze. If that ball's incomplete, it's game over.
It's game over. And it's funny because now they took that shot and they put the Air Jordan logo over it and almost matches up directly. And so now they're calling him Air Caleb. I'm like, oh, God. But, I mean,
don't do that.
Even with the Packers choking, Caleb had to be Superman still to get the victory because they don't make that 4th and 10. It's done. Green Bay moves on. We go home.
Jason.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but Green Bay special teams unit in the playoffs is about as reliable as let's just say the LA Chargers blocking Justin Herbert. Because if you think back to the 2021 divisional round against San Francisco, what happened in that game? Block punt led to a game-time touchdown. And the other night, Brandon McManus misses 2 field goals and an extra point. And the Packers lost by 4 points. Are we seeing a trend where these LaFleur's, Shanahan's, and Sean McVays are great offensive-minded coaches, great coaches in general, but maybe struggle just a wee bit with special teams?
Hold on.
You see I'm getting ready.
I think we're seeing that trend with some of the teams, Dylan, not all of them. And I would expect that the first change that will be made on that coaching staff is the firing of Rich Bisaccia, who is still Green Bay special teams coach. It sounds like LaFleur is going to stay in Green Bay, whether they let him coach out the final year of his deal next season or they sign him to an extension, he's there to stay. So if that's the case, and it really is, Bisaccia needs to be the first coach out the door, because Green Bay special teams unit, Dylan, not only sucked in that game against Chicago, all season long we were terrible. We were ranked 29th in the NFL in yards allowed on special teams. We did not have a single punt return for a touchdown, did not have a single kick return for a touchdown, at least that I recall. Our unit was just god-awful terrible. So I would imagine Bisaccia will be the first guy out the door. Ken, what are you going to say?
I want to defend your guy a little bit, but first of all, JB hit it.
Smoking Dad has entered the chat.
I'm going to defend your guy because look, at Hightower's been in Chicago for 3 coaching administrations, and we talked about it on the morning show. Special team coaches are such a niche, rare breed. It's hard to find good ones or anyone that's even competent. The problem with Green Bay, like McManus, look, I'm going to defend Green Bay special teams here. Chicago is a shitty place to kick at. It is a really hard place to kick at in bad weather. A couple weeks ago, McManus was masterful, as was Cairo Santos, right? When they had to bend it like Beckham. The wind got the better of him in this game, unfortunately for him. I thought when they put Josh Jacobs to return the ball, that was a great move by them. But you got to remember, for special teams guys, these coaches, like, look at what do special team coaches get to control? Maybe the place kicker, maybe the punter, the long snapper. And if they're lucky, they get influence if I really want that guy to be my returner. Their gunners and everything else are the slop leftovers from the defense and the offense, the guys who aren't in the top end of the rotation. You're going to special teams, and you can have them for 15, 20 minutes of practice. So really, I think part of that problem is not necessarily always on the special teams coach, but the fact that they're just given whatever's left over, and a lot of coaches don't give them a lot of time to practice. They get a very small slice at the end of the day when the guy's already tired, and they're not an emphasis isn't put on it. As far as McManus, look, I can tell you from experience, kicking issues can be an issue for any team. Like after Cody Park, we went through kickers. Pinheiro, though, look, he's kicking really good for San Francisco now, right? McManus is not a bad kicker.
Chicago, after all, Chicago had its double doink a years.
That's what I'm saying. And Pinheiro was one of the guys that came in and left real quick because we couldn't find the guy. Now he's having success in San Francisco. I wanted to maybe look at getting rid of Cairo Santos at the end of last year, thinking, well, he needs a bigger leg. We need a bigger leg in Chicago. But after watching him kick consistently in really bad weather conditions, he's really good in really bad weather. Those kickers are far and few between. So I'm going to defend McManus a little bit because Chicago is not an easy place to kick. And when it looks like the flags aren't moving in Chicago, no, partner. That wind is doing this. And it's not easy in Chicago. So McManus missing, what was it, a 40-some yard, look, the wind affected a pass from their backup quarterback in week 16. But yet their kickers McManus was able to put it through the uprights, which is not easy to do. I don't think they're going to be firing. If they fire their special teams coach, I think that's probably a bad move. They already said that they're going to try to extend LaFleur. That came out today. That they're looking to extend LaFleur now, unless JB's got some more breaking on that.
No. LaFleur was the assistant quarterbacks coach.
Yeah.
And Kyle Shanahan was the OC. But yes, same thing. Both those guys do the same thing in the big moment in the playoffs. If you look at it, every time that Kyle Shanahan has had a lead in the Super Bowl, what has he done? He does not run the ball in the second half. He goes pass happy, and they lose.
But when it goes to your special teams coaches, like all of you, like no matter what your team, go look at your special teams coordinator and look how long they've been there. And I think a lot of you will be surprised to find that your special teams coordinator, unless you're Pittsburgh or the Ravens, where your head coach was there for over 15 years, you'll find that your coordinator has been there for 2 or 3 different head coaches, like Hightower in Chicago. And there have been times where Bears fans are like, we need to fire Hightower. Why has he been here since John Fox? Because they're hard to find good coaches that coach in that niche.
Just like the guy I just mentioned, Dave Fitt, who's been here since Caldwell.
Yeah.
And Ken, you're right about Matt LaFleur. Everything that I have heard and read right now says that they are leaning towards keeping LaFleur. They're going to try and make their pitch to Harbaugh, see what his reaction is. They may even try and make a pitch out to Kevin Stefanski. But by the end of the day, I do think that LaFleur will end up still being the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Dylan, what were you going to say?
I've got one. Rich, Charles, Adam, guess what? For the first time that I can ever remember, the Ravens and Steelers have something in common. Neither team's got a head coach right now.
3 teams in the North, AFC North, are coachless. Wait, that
Yeah.
deserves another.
And you know what? We're going to call the Cincinnati
Congratulations to
Bengals.
Adam, by the way, who's been calling for it for 2 years. Congratulations to Adam. Well, I really want to know how Adam feels today, finally getting rid of Tomlin after all this time.
I walked into this, I went in for a pickup, and she looks at me and she goes, "He got let go today." And I was like, what? I was like, what? It just drew me off, and I was having a miserable day, with the loss yesterday, and all of a sudden, like I felt the sun just come flying through out of nowhere. I was like, it was like the perfect sky. It was just a moment of like, this is awesome.
Adam called me at work today, and he was on cloud 9 to let me know that Tomlin had stepped down. He's like, "Jay, did you hear the news, buddy? Tomlin's gone, buddy. He stepped down." I'm like, "Congratulations."
I was
So
waiting
does
for the
Tomlin
phone
try
call.
to get a job, or is he going to retire?
I
It
got
looks
the
like he's
funniest
going to
situation you
CBS.
could have.
From what I'm seeing,
Tomlin to
Tomlin's
Baltimore,
not
Harbaugh
looking
to
to coach
Pittsburgh.
next year.
Wait, what?
Tomlin
Wait.
also wasn't fired, so the Steelers
Right.
actually still hold the rights. This is why this break and this TV stuff is coming up, because the Steelers can stop him or have to be involved in if he does move somewhere.
Well, we get a
So
draft
if he
pick.
does wait, he can just go where he wants.
Yeah, he waits
I
1
think
year.
unlike Harbaugh, he's got time. If he waits 1 or 2, 3 years, he's going to be the
Well,
number
he's only
one
got to
name
wait 1 year,
wherever he
right?
goes.
He had 1
Yeah.
year in contract. He just got to wait 1 year, and he can do what he wants. And the Steelers don't.
Go ahead, Jerm.
JB's got it.
Baltimore sends a 3rd-round pick to Pittsburgh for Tomlin, and Harbaugh hires in as Pittsburgh's head coach.
Wouldn't that be something?
Let me tell you something. I just put it
Stranger
on
things
the
can happen,
Rotary-
man.
I just put it on
ruin my
the
perfect
Facebook.
fucking day, Jeremy.
Okay, let him.
I just put it on the Facebook. What do you Raven fans think about hiring Tomlin as coach? I've never seen so much profanity. Like on the page.
Even from Eric Costa.
Didn't you see the Baltimore owner and the GM there in their presser today? And it was right when the news was announced that Tomlin was fired, or that he walked away. He goes, "That's real."
Hey, you know what's
It was announced before the press
funny? This would be the collective sound of Baltimore if Tomlin got hired.
Well, but they asked the Ravens owner about, well, what would you think about Tomlin coming to coach the Ravens? He's like, well, holy shit. Yeah, we'll do it if John goes to Pittsburgh.
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of the joke of the day.
Y'all joking. He likes Tomlin as a coach.
Yeah,
he really does.
I would not be surprised if they send a 3rd-round pick to Pittsburgh to get the right to have Tomlin and extend him right off the rip.
No, different. I'm gonna make Steve in the comments. He said this morning, and he knows the policy, so he knows the policy. Family, I wouldn't be. He's like Matt LaFleur is more likely to be traded. I wouldn't be surprised either if like Matt LaFleur gets traded to Baltimore or to Pittsburgh.
I still like my idea better because that would be hilarious.
I do like your idea better, but I want to make Steve happy.
I like your idea.
I think it's Flores in Pittsburgh. I think it's Flores. I think that's. I think that would work. That would make a lot of sense.
Flores would have to drop his cases to be hired as a head coach.
Right.
He's already been
there.
Ugly mug.
He's interviewing.
He's going to have to do. He's going to have to do what DeMeco Ryans did, where he's going to have to turn the defensive responsibility over to somebody else, and I don't know that he's willing to do that.
Well, he's interviewing.
DeMeco Ryans this year turned the defensive responsibilities over to Matt Burke because he realized
Flores is interviewing.
I can't oversee
He's got interviews on the books for head coaching positions. So I mean, JB's right. He would probably have to drop his suit, but guys, he's interviewing. He's not out of it. Remember, Flores has no contract in Minnesota right now. His contract's up. So I mean, look at if Pittsburgh would be a dream job, he'd be the 5th coach since all of our lifetimes, pretty much. Right? I mean,
Fourth.
no, they've had 4 since like what, 67?
3.
Mole, Cower, Tomlin. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Since
it.
1969.
So, I mean, if you're Flores, I think you drop your lawsuit to take that job if it's offered.
15 coaches before that.
Dylan's been waiting patiently through like 6 of us.
God.
Here's what I think happens with the Steelers. Brian Flores seems like he'd be the
They're
guy
not bringing Brian Flores back.
because Pittsburgh always
They're not
seems to
bringing
go
Brian
after
Flores
young defensive minds. But you know what?
You're-
Nobody thought the Steelers would get Bill Cowell. Nobody thought the Steelers would get Mike Tomlin. Pittsburgh is probably thinking 5 steps ahead, and the Steelers are going to hire somebody we've never heard of. He'll be young, and I think he will be an offensive-minded head coach. I wouldn't be surprised if he's maybe the OC in Jacksonville, not Liam Cohen, excuse me. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers went out and got a young offensive mind. Maybe Cliff King's what?
Halfley. Don't forget Halfley. Jason, cover your ears. Packer Muffs. Halfley from the Packers, defensive coordinator. Don't forget him, too, for Pittsburgh. I wanted Jason to cover his ears so he didn't get mad at losing another coordinator. You're okay, Jason?
Why? I got a question for Jason. Why do you want LaFleur gone? Because you were just destroying him the other day. I saw. Why do you want him, or do you still want him gone now that you've had a couple days?
So Rev, I tweeted what I tweeted about LaFleur because I was in the heat of the moment. The fact that they had choked the 18-point lead, and like every other Packers fan, I was pissed to high hell. But cooler heads have prevailed here. I've had a chance to sit back and think about it more. And you know what? I'm going to preface what I'm going to say by letting you know that I heard Ross Tucker, CBS NFL analyst, on the Dan Patrick show yesterday, and he brought up a really good point. He said, if you're a team like the Packers organization, you're always going to be building your team for Super Bowl success, not wins in the regular season, not playoff wins, but Super Bowl success. If you fire LaFleur now, who out there, and you take Harbaugh out of the equation, who out there right now, whether it's Kevin Stefanski or whether it's Halfley or somebody else, is going to keep the Packers as a relevant Super Bowl contender as a head coach? The answer to that is no. So Tucker said, and I agree with him on this, if you're the Packers, let LaFleur coach out the last year of his deal because his contract officially ends at the end of next season. Let him coach out next season. See how he does. That way, if he does flame out again in the postseason, you don't have to worry about being on the hook for any dead money. Because if they go and they sign him to a long-term extension now, let's say hypothetically speaking, 5 years at $75 million, and then the Packers continue their slide, they're into year 3 of that slide, they're on the hook for all that dead money that goes against their cap. And so Tucker brought up those
coach money doesn't go against that.
Well, excuse me, just one second. Tucker brought that up, and Rev, I thought about that more, and it makes more sense. And so I'm willing to keep LaFleur, but if LaFleur is going to stay, the rest of the coaching staff needs to get mixed up because it needs to change.
But wait, head coach money doesn't go against your cap.
No, you're right.
But I mean, they'd have dead money because like the Raiders are paying $50 million to coaches that don't coach there anymore.
That's what I was trying to illustrate.
It's hard though with LaFleur because like I agree with Jason like in that analysis of hey, let him coach out next year and see what's what. The problem with that is though, maybe he walks at the end of the year because like, well, I saw what's what too, and I can go to some greener pastures before the price goes up. But I mean, or if you don't try to extend him, it's a vote of no confidence, right? And it's a tricky situation that Ed Policy's. Remember, this isn't on Goody, this is on Ed Policy. This is all Ed Policy deciding this. I think you do like a 2-year extension, and if they come out ablazy next year, maybe you extend the extension. I don't know. It's Green Bay is in a precarious situation again, except now it's with their head coach, whereas before it was, well, shit, we got to give Jordan Love a contract. How big should it be? Well, he's only had 1 year of playing time. Fuck it, give him $55 million, right? I mean, it's almost like that now with LaFleur. It's like they're in this tweener place. Yeah, they've been getting to the playoffs, but they're not winning division championships. They're not winning playoff games. We see how Steeler fans and Baltimore fans with their coaches were like, great, you're getting to playoff games, but you're not winning. You need to go, partner. Green Bay's curious. Like, who could come into Green Bay and keep it going? Could Hafley take over? Well, I know a lot
No.
of Packer fans don't want to lose Hafley. That would be one way to keep him. Could Harbaugh come there? He's got a house in the UP. He'd be close to his other house. Maybe, Stefanski. I mean, now look, you're talking a defensive-minded coach. I mean, Hafley's probably gone at that point. So if you lose LaFleur, you're automatically losing Hafley, it sounds like, in any scenario. So Green Bay's probably going to stay the course because they want to try. They're hoping. They're crossing their fingers that no one gives Hafley a job.
So,
Here's what
so real quickly, Dylan, I'm sorry. Getting back to what Rav asked me about me wanting LaFleur gone. Initially, yes. But Rav, now that I've had time to sit back and think about it more, I think right now, based on the current state of the team, LaFleur, as hard as this is for me to say, is probably the best coach for that situation. What does need to change? Brian Gutekunst needs to, I think, evaluate some things here as an executive. Find out what he needs to get it figured out there. Let me just say this. If Bob Harlan and Ron Wolf are still running the Packers, LaFleur would have been out. But fortunately, it's Ed Policy's tenure, so I think he's going to let LaFleur coach it out, see what happens. Ultimately, Rab, I think that's the right thing to do. I hope that answers your question.
Michael, LaFleur deserves to be
Dylan.
traded to Tahitian Developmental Flag Football League for middle schoolers.
Hey, Dylan got a question, guys.
Dylan, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Couple things about Green Bay. Unlike a team, say the Philadelphia Eagles, Green Bay doesn't have an owner, and Green Bay's not a big free agency destination or big risk taker. The fact that the Packers took a wide receiver for the first time since the George W. Bush era or something.
That's changed
fact
because
that-
of that policy.
The fact that Green Bay made a Micah Parsons move came out of left field. But
Well, not really. I mean, if you look at policy and Gutekunst, since they've been there, they're taking the bigger swings and the bigger risks, and they're paying people. There's a little bit of a subtle change in Green Bay that has not gone unnoticed by the rest of the North. Like, yeah, what you're saying, Dylan, is completely true of the old Green Bay Packers leadership, but under Ed Policy and Gutekunst, they're more willing to pay money, take risks, do free agency, take guys off the wire. They're more willing to. And I think that's because the Bears, the Lions, and the Vikings have forced them into doing that with the way these teams have built up the last couple of years. That's why Micah Parsons, like, honestly, I think Micah Parsons saved Gutekunst's job this year. Like, if he doesn't make that deal, right, and bring him in, you might not have Goody, and we might be having this conversation because those two guys might be gone. But he made a great move that probably saved his job.
And by the way, Matthew Golden, even though he had a very lackluster rookie year because he wasn't utilized properly, had 4 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown in that wild card game against the Bears. So that lets me know that Matthew Golden has a future in this league, either with the Packers or somebody else. And also, Dylan, real quickly, I want to hit on something that Ken said a few minutes ago about the pecking order of the NFC North and really the whole landscape of the NFC changing. The Packers have dominated the NFC North for so long, but because teams like the Bears are getting better, because teams like the Lions have gotten better, it's no longer a one-trick pony show. And so Green Bay has not adjusted to that changing landscape in the NFC North. That's what I'm trying to get to about Gutekunst needing to be more aggressive in free agency. You're drafting some decent players. They're starting to develop, but now you need to go out and start thinking a little bit bigger. And they don't have to necessarily overflow the boat and spend big on huge name free agents. Just go out and get the guys that are going to fit the scheme. They have an identity. They know what they want to do on offense and defense. Just get the guys that fit your scheme and see what happens.
I mean, the Packers were the best of the worst for so long that then when everyone else caught up to them, they kind of got caught flat-footed. Look, they've done some things right. The way they did the drafting Jordan Love and letting him sit on the bench for a couple of years, it went a year longer than they probably originally planned. But like Green Bay has done some things to maintain a certain level of, I don't want to say excellence, but of being really good. The problem with the NFC North is like the Bears were dysfunctional, the Vikings were dysfunctional, probably still are a little bit. The Lions were dysfunctional, but when those teams kind of figured out how to not become dysfunctional with better GM and head coach hires, they've caught up to Green Bay. And like in Chicago's case, you could say they've obviously this year surpassed Green Bay. The Lions had surpassed Green Bay for a couple years. look at everyone in this division has a winning record. It's become, it used to be where Green Bay could win 10 or 13 games and no one else in the division would have a winning record, right? Everyone else was 7-9, and Green Bay would win 13. This year, every team in the NFC North had a winning record. Yes, even the Vikings managed a winning record. In fact, they're not even in last place. The Lions, believe it or not, were the last place team this year. So the NFC North has changed. The Packers need to adjust to that some, and they will. But right now, like the way the Bears are playing, like honestly, they have a legit chance to win a Super Bowl this year, which even a couple of weeks ago I would have been like, I don't know if I want to say that yet, but I'll say it now because there's no one that's left in the playoffs is a team that's like unbeatable. They're all beatable for this team. And you look at the NFC North next year, it's going to be another dogfight. And you look, and the Bears keep doing what they're doing, and Caleb keeps getting better because he's not at his peak yet. Oof. I mean, I love that there's a lot of talk about the Packers post this Bears-Packers game, which is great in a way. I mean, it frustrates me, but another way it's great because like people seem to still sleep on this Bears team. Like this Bears team is legit good, and they can beat you and they can do things. We've beaten everyone. Think about it. Well, we didn't beat the Ravens, the only team, and we didn't beat the Lions, but we've beaten a lot of really good teams this year. And every game, the Bears have been underdogs at home. I guarantee you for this Rams game, I haven't looked at the line yet, but I bet the Bears are the underdog. I guarantee it. I bet they are.
Let me see.
Here's one thing I want to find out, Ken. I want to find out what happens when that running game goes away. Because last I looked, unless I completely missed the stats, Caleb is still at the bottom in completion percentage in the NFL.
He is.
And if that running game ain't there and he's got to throw 40, 50 times a game,
I'm fine with that, though, because we actually looked. So we did something on, the Bears are 3.5-point underdogs at home. Again, look, with Caleb, we took away his throwaways. If you take his throwaways away, not the drop balls, just throwaways, he's throwing at 68%. He throws the ball away more than any other quarterback in the league right now.
I'm not doubting that because he picks some really horrible times to throw the ball away too.
Sometimes, yeah, I agree with that. Sometimes he's really quick to do it, like really quick, maybe too quick. The 4K club mark, he missed like 50 some yards this year. Fans care about that more than players and me. I mean, if the Bears have to throw, I mean, did you not see Colson Loveland this weekend? Right?
Look like the best player. Look like the best tight end in the league.
I mean, the Bears have weapons, man. Colson Loveland, Cole Kmet, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, who once again was the dagger throw that kills off Green Bay 2 games in a row, game-winning touchdown. And you still got Zacchaeus. You still got Burden, who's the most efficient route runner in the NFL. I mean, it's not like they don't have people to throw to. You can throw to Swift too. So if the run game goes away, they got a great passing game. Just how they want. I mean, they didn't beat the Packers because of the running game. They beat them with the arm. Caleb beat them with the arm.
So, Ken, quickly, with the Rams, they're playing on Sunday night. We know it's probably going to be cold. How do the Bears beat Matthew Stafford and get to their first NFC Championship game in 15 years?
Just keep doing what they're doing, honestly. I mean, they can't. They look at when the Bears go down at halftime, down a score or two, it's almost like they go in there and go, got them right where we want them. I mean, it almost feels like it. But look at the Bears just need to play their offense. The defense will do its job. Look at Stafford. You'd think can do well in cold weather. Historically, though, he doesn't do really well in cold weather, and it's going to be cold in Chicago this weekend. Their defense, San Francisco or the Rams' defense, I don't think they're going to match up well against this Bears offense. Honestly, I find it funny that the number 2 seed is once again the underdog at home. Just keep doubting the Bears Give them more bulletin board material, Vegas. We love it. Like the Bears can win this game. It'll be a close game, but the Bears, I think, will win this game and will go to the NFC Championship and will knock off the winner of that one. I think the Bears can go to the Super Bowl this year, honestly. They got a team defensively that does just enough. And look, we had no takeaways in this Green Bay game. In fact, we lost a takeaway battle and won the game. So, I mean, this Bears team has showed you that they can lose a takeaway battle and win. If they win the takeaway battle, they've won every game -1, which was also Green Bay, ironically. Or no, I'm sorry, that was the Lions. This team can beat you in different ways. They can beat you with the run game like they dismantled the Eagles, or they can beat you with Caleb's arm. So offensively, they're a nightmare for any defensive coordinator, and I honestly believe the Bears just played the best defensive coordinator that was left in the playoffs in Hafley. I think Hafley was the best defensive coordinator still left in the playoffs at this point.
Better than Vic Fangio?
Fangio's gone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Fangio would have been up there, right? Fangio, Hafley, right? They're both gone. So, I mean, as far as defensive coordinators?
One more. You worried about the Bears losing their left tackle and DJ Edwards?
No, so it's weird. In both cases, no. Why? Because you have the starting left tackle was the starting left tackle like 5 or 6 games this year. The Bears have been uniquely deep at left tackle this year, right? We got the Canadian Eagle who's now going to start again. His backup will be a guy who started at that position for 3 years in Chicago. So, no, I think left tackle they'll be okay. Now, so as far as the linebacking core, well, what else is new? Edmonds and Edwards both have been in and out all year with injuries. Our 5th-string linebacker a couple weeks ago was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. If there was a position group that we were going to have injuries at for specific positions, those two we were uniquely covered at being deep at those positions where we could afford the injury. Had we lost Roma Dunze, that might have hurt a little bit more. Had we lost, a corner or a safety, that would have hurt more, especially with C.J. Gardner-Johnson still on concussion protocol. But the left tackle, it was weird. It's like, oh, fuck. But at the same time, you're like, well, wait, we got 2 others right there. They're good. Okay, we're all right. Linebacker, that's been our story all year. We're good there too. You couldn't have scripted it any better. If you had to take injuries, those would have been the 2 position groups. You're like, we got backups. If we had lost DeAndre Swift, that would have hurt a lot more because Roschon Johnson, I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Monangai. Get the hell out of here.
So, it would have been Monangai. Monangai I'd be fine with, but the other guy, maybe not so much. I mean, it was weird that we got 2 injuries at a position group. We're more than capable with our backups.
All right. Now, usually Rich is the one bringing trivia questions, but I have a trivia question. Now, Rich already knows the answer to this, so Sean McVay has faced all but 3 NFC teams in his playoff coaching career, not including the Rams, because he's coaching the Rams. Could you name the 3 teams that Sean McVay has not faced in the NFC playoffs?
Well, Chicago.
As a head coach.
Chicago.
Yes. Now the fun one.
You said NFC teams, right?
Yes.
Wait, what's this question?
Seattle.
What's the question?
Rams and Seattle face each other 2020. Wildcard round.
The 3 teams McVay has not faced in the playoffs from the NFC. The first one was Chicago.
Green Bay. I don't remember.
Division round 2020.
What about Tampa Bay?
2021 division round.
Yeah, that was a great game. I still remember that game. NOLA? No. Forget that. They played NOLA.
Random PI call that same.
Yeah, that was NPI call. The second I said that, I said, "Oh wait, NPI call." Never mind. Arizona.
Giants. The Giants.
What did you
the
say?
Giants
Jeremy?
and the Cardinals.
I said the Giants.
You're correct with the Giants. Cardinals would have been the wildcard game 2021. So down to 1.
So we got the Bears and the Giants. Who's that third team?
Oh, look at that. We got Mike from Lions Talk today. What up, though, brother?
Hey.
You guys are going to be You guys are going to be fuming over this last team.
It's an easy one, and we're just missing it. I'm gonna say the Washington Commanders.
No,
Ding,
That's
ding,
what I was
ding,
thinking.
ding,
That's
ding,
what I was
ding,
thinking. I
ding,
was just
ding,
thinking
ding,
that. I was
ding.
like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by that list, but like, it's gonna be interesting. Like Stafford, though, look at Chicago's a team he's played a lot in his career. Obviously, it's a different looking Chicago than what he's used to. He's played in Chicago in cold weather before. He's never done well in Chicago in cold weather, so it's gonna be an interesting game. I still find it funny that we're the underdogs at home again. You know, if you want to make money, if you wanted to make money this year, the Bears were the underdogs in every game they've played this year except for 2. Think how much if you just bet Chicago to win every week, $100
I'm
every
going to
week,
bet them to
you
win
would
because
be
I
a
haven't
rich
won
person
anything all
right now.
year, so I'm probably going to jinx them.
Yeah.
Well,
The
the
only
big
two
thing
games
is,
And the Rams didn't look good in for a while now.
and they look
They
good
didn't
in
look
Carolina.
great. I mean, they beat Carolina. Carolina's not that good of a team, and they didn't look great.
Yeah.
I
mean, the
they got
Bears
a
were
lot of
the
trouble.
favorites in 2 games. They were favorited in the Browns game, and what was the other one? Cincinnati. I think those were the only 2 they were favored in the whole year.
the thing I'm looking at with this game, you got to look at this is arguably the NFC Championship game because the way that, and now with Kittle out for the Niners, if they get through, God bless them. And if Seattle gets through, it's still Sam Darnold. You're waiting for Sam Darnold to wet the bed.
And I actually think
So
San Francisco can win this game because it is a division game. The injury doesn't affect as much. They just played each other 2 weeks ago. San Francisco can totally win this game.
Seattle's
They
defense
can.
is really good.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, if they go in against the Rams or they go in against Chicago, I think the Rams are going to have a bigger issue there than they will against Seattle. So I think whoever wins this Bears Rams game is going to represent the NFC.
Yeah, and it'll be the team that beats the Seahawks.
I really want San Francisco to win this week. I want there to be a San
Sam Darnold
Francisco
shows up on
Chicago
Saturday night
rematch
and
in
beats
Chicago.
Sam Darnold.
What was that, Adam?
The primetime Sam Darnold, who sucks.
What about the Rams game where they came back and won? That was prime time. I keep telling you that,
Indeed.
Adam. You don't listen to me.
And then Sam Darnold won the division.
Here's the problem with the Sea Chickens. You take out, they've got a great wide receiver.
Adam never listens to me.
If you can cover him, if you can cover their wide receiving core, which Chicago can, because we have to deal with good wide receiver duos all over this division. Detroit, Minnesota, right? I'd rank them up with them, and the Bears do a good job of containing those receiving cores to within an acceptable limit for the most part. Their running game isn't that good in Seattle. It's okay. It's not great. And their defense, the Bears have the number 1 offensive line right now left, and they can move bodies, and if they can continue to run on Seattle, then the pass game, and then Darnold gets behind. Darnold will do ghost things, so you'll see ghosts of playoff games.
At least Darnold doesn't paint his fingernails.
Oh, who gives a shit about that?
Real men don't do that, dude. You know
Dennis
that.
Rodman colored his hair, painted his fingernails, married himself.
Real men
really
don't
don't
paint their
care.
fingernails. He's not out
Really
to
don't
John,
care.
okay?
Okay, whoa. Jamie, let's not turn this into a gender or transgender war of any kind. Painting your fingernails has no bearing on whether or not you win a football game. We can save that conversation for another day.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at Dennis Rodman back in the day, he dyed his hair, painted his fingernails,
Don't do that.
fucking married himself in New York, and was the best rebounder in probably NBA history. So who really cares? But Jason's right. Like it doesn't matter. But Darnold, though, I agree with you, Rich. Like Darnold, you're just waiting for when are the ghosts going to come out?
Right, and Jamie's got a point. I mean, he did come back in that game against the Rams, but now we're in a playoff situation. And everybody knows, all 8 of us know, it's a whole different ball game when you're in the playoffs than it is in the regular season. I don't care who you are or what team it is. It's a whole different ballgame when you get into the playoffs.
Right.
And Darnold is one of those guys that has got to prove it in the playoffs because he has not done it in the past. So we'll see. We'll see.
What's going to hurt San Francisco more than anything is the loss of Kittle.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
But
that's
the video.
San Francisco even being
He's
here.
not Kittle.
San Francisco being this far is the craziest thing I've ever seen. They're starting 3 backup linebackers. They lost their tight end. They lost Kittle. They've lost Williams. They've lost their inside guy. They have had lost Brock Purdy for a lot of the season. The fact that they rolled the Eagles is just unbelievable. This is unbelievable stuff.
Benchwarmer did a short.
I can't get it
on this, and he's like, CMC collects the souls of fallen players and becomes stronger. So when Kittle got hurt, it was the funniest bit I ever saw. Like, they're like, yeah, who knew all we needed was CMC, and as everyone else gets hurt, he gets stronger. I mean, Kittle got hurt though before this game was over, and they still did what they did to the Eagles without Kittle. Like, and and look at Kittle's missed a lot of time this year, so it's not like they were not used to Kittle not being there.
Has anybody put the pieces together yet that there's 3 NFC West teams in the Final Four?
Yeah, it's insane.
Has anybody put those pieces together that 3 of the Final 4 teams in the NFC are all NFC West?
Yeah, I did too. I did too.
Jay Knight. Hey, I was one of the ones that said the 49ers will probably beat the Eagles because they're way too consistent on offense.
By the way, I think we would all agree that Kyle Shanahan should win coaching. And by the way, Nick Sirianni, oh gosh,
no.
This will be the first time. This will be the first time in NFL history that you're going to have coach of the year. You watch.
Really?
Coach of the year.
Who do you think it's going to be, Rich?
I think there's 3 of them that are at the top right now, and I'm going to name my 3 top candidates. It's Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, and Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel just got fired. You mean
Mike McDonald, Seahawks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how
you got those 3 guys. You got DeMeco Ryans. You've got you got Vrabel. You got Sean Payton. To me, I just think there's so many guys that are up for Coach of the Year that have a legitimate claim to it that we're going to see a whole bunch of diversity in those numbers, and we're going to end up with a tie. I would not be the least bit surprised if somewhere, somehow, there's a tie.
Look at the voting's not done yet, which is bad. It used to be the voting was done before the playoffs started, but unfortunately now it goes into the playoffs a little bit. How many first-year head coaches are still in the playoffs? There's your coach of the year.
1.
Because that's going to influence the voting.
No, Vrabel is
the
first.
Well, but
I think what Kyle Shanahan's done
just makes sense. Vrabel was not a first-year coach.
That's a great coach.
His first year with that team, but yeah, you got Vrabel in there too.
But I mean, look, usually if it comes down between a guy who's been there and a first-time head coach, almost 99% of the time, the first-time head coach is the guy who wins that award. It's just a weird quirk with the voting. Because like, yeah, well, Vrabel's done it before, we know. But Ben Johnson, he's brand new, and look what he just did to this team that, by the way, hadn't won a playoff game in 15 years. Oh, by the way, hadn't had a winning season in 4 or 5 years. Oh, by the way, and wait, they're still in the playoffs. And if they don't get the votes in pre this game, let's say the Bears beat the Rams, they're going to be like, oh, first-year head coach win an NFC championship game? Yeah, I know who I'm voting for. Whether that's right or wrong, that will have influence.
Well, and so that's where Cohen has a really strong leg because, you go from he's the first team in the NFL history to have 13 losses one year and 13 wins the next one.
Yeah, we had 12 last year and 11.
So, to have that kind of a turnaround, that definitely gives Cohen a leg in there.
Yeah. I'm not saying it doesn't give him a leg.
Seattle.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't give a leg, but like when it comes to first, they're going to look at it's weird. Well, who are the first-year head coaches? How'd they all do? Okay, how many are still in the playoffs? And unfortunately, that's going to affect the voting. And if the voting's not done by the time this Bears-Rams game is over, and let's say the Bears win or are going to the NFC Championship game, that too will affect the voting even further.
I think the votes are done before the playoffs would start.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are, because they're based off of regular season. The playoffs have
supposed
no
to be.
bearing. And what they're doing is they're not releasing it now to cause more speculation. The voting was done after week 18.
That's what they said last year, and then guys talked about how they didn't vote till after the playoff game. So I don't know how much I believe that, maybe, to be honest.
Hold on, guys. For the 2025 NFL Coach of the Year, ballots were submitted by the panel of 50 AP sports journalists on Monday, January the 5th.
Week 9, right at the before the wild card.
So it'll be interesting. I think your top 3, though, are going to be my doppelganger there in Jacksonville. If he wins, I expect a check. Ben Johnson for sure. I mean, both those guys. And then, I mean, Vrabel has got to be in the conversation. Shanahan, I mean, I kind of agree with what Dylan said, though, with the way he's kept San Francisco together and relevant. Man, they got to be in the conversation. Up in Seattle, he's in the conversation.
I think Kyle Shanahan needed to win that game against Seattle to win the division to get in the Coach of the Year conversation. I think he lost it right then and there.
Yep, that's what I think. I think if they'd have
as much as I'm
at
pushing for, as much as I'm pushing for San Francisco, I'm not.
I'll say that I'm for Kyle Shanahan getting it, but if they give it to Liam Cohen, they give it to Ben Johnson, they give it to Mike Vrabel, I have no problem with it. I think it's very, very close.
Right.
It's not like, to me, that's a travesty or anything like that. I mean, those guys have done phenomenal.
You can't even get mad at him giving it to Mike McDonald because he beat Kyle Shanahan to get that first lead.
I was just going to ask, does anyone think Sean Payton? Does anyone think Sean Payton got pushed out because that division turned into a joke?
Yeah.
Well, it became a two-horse race. It became a two-horse race. What, in week 9 was it? That was when.
Kansas City people expected eliminated. Sean Payton and Denver to be good anyway. So if you are what they expect you to be, it's like we expected you to be good. Why am I going to give you an award for what I expected you to be anyway?
Hey Jamie, I think
same reason like McVay wouldn't win it or something. Yeah, they expect Sean Payton to win the division. That's not. Yeah.
Hey Jamie, we've all got like backgrounds or man caves. You just have your roof of your room.
And
it's actually not my room.
Buffalo has no ceiling.
No, actually, it's my basement. I do have man cave stuff all the way over here.
Okay.
You should get it in the background, buddy. You should get it in the background.
Is Drake made the MVP?
No.
Does it really matter?
Think he is. I think he is.
I still think it's Stafford.
Why are you Dylan the one to criticize if I have a man cave or not? Seriously.
Who the fuck are you talking to?
I think it comes down to those two.
I'm talking to Dylan.
Anybody besides those two? Anyone?
That pissed me off, dude. You saying that.
I mean, look at I don't want to homer out. I don't want to homer out, but I won't be surprised if Caleb gets a couple votes.
You know what? I'm logging off.
There'll be some Midwest voters who'll probably vote for him, right? But I don't think he'll win it. But he'll get some votes because,
all right, Shane.
The 6 come from behind.
I'm sorry, Jamie. I'm sorry.
I'm not logging off.
But no, I think it's Stafford or Drake May. I think it's a 2-horse race, and you'll get a couple votes in there for Caleb with all the come from behind. You'll get CMC will get a couple votes because he's CMC. But I think it comes down to those 2 quarterbacks, honestly.
No votes for Josh Allen.
No, because they had such a weird season.
I'm changing my MVP vote to Josh Allen.
Bring my savior. The Haas is in the house, getting Tomlin fired. We love you.
Hey,
I mean, like Josh Allen was MVP last year. You look at the season this year, statistically, it might look okay, but the way that season felt for Buffalo didn't feel like a Josh Allen MVP season.
Anyways, I was out last night watching the game at Hamlin's Pub with one of the guys that watches my show through my Facebook page, Steve Bauer. And at the beginning of that last drive with Aaron Rodgers, I said, the only way that this will get better is if he throws a pick 6. 2 plays later, 51-yard touchdown. the other
And
way.
there's mutual. I saw an article today that Aaron and the Steelers have mutual interest in him returning for another year. I wonder if the
wow.
firing
No,
today or
please, I won't watch the NFL.
well,
then if
but
he
that was
comes
before the
back.
Tomlin news was announced. I wonder if Tomlin
It's
leaving
like Rodgers,
now
get the
changes
hell
that.
out of the NFL. You're done.
I'll tell you what I
Zero,
think.
zero chance you could get Aaron Rodgers to listen to some 34-year-old coach on the offensive. That's not going to happen.
I'll tell
The
you what
only,
I
the
think
only person
happens.
he's going to listen to is RFK Jr., okay?
I'll tell you what I think happens with Aaron
back
Rodgers.
if we're just gonna run
That's the
screen
only guy
passes
he
every
listens to.
fucking play.
And Cheryl Hines. Anyway, go ahead.
I'll tell you what I think happens with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers next year.
He should
I
just
think
go
Aaron-
away, man.
I think Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
I can see it happening because of what Quezzy said today. He was asked if J.J. McCarthy was the quarterback to start next year. He paused and he goes, I don't know if McCarthy's it. So they're looking for a quarterback. I watched McCarthy is traded before the draft.
The money issues
Traded-
in Minnesota,
nobody
crazy
wants him.
Quezzy, they do some things, but man, their cap right now is like they're so far negative. They have to restructure some guys and then take and just to be able to sign their draftees. I don't know where Quezzy, you do some crazy math up there, but how can they afford it? I don't think they can afford Aaron Rodgers unless he says, "Well, I'm going for a vet minimum
Aaron
with a
Rodgers
lot of
should
it,
just
with a lot of
retire,
like
man,
extras
that's
thrown in
all.
if I hit certain
I
marks."
agree.
I mean, their cap.
I thought the Vikings would go after Mac Jones or Malik Willis.
Mac Jones is a product of Kyle Shanahan. He won't do well in Minnesota.
Mac Jones, I think. Well, the team that's going to look at those two guys,
Kyle
Adam,
Shanahan can make us look good at
Indianapolis.
quarterback.
And KOC is
Indianapolis
the Kyle
needs a guy.
Shanahan tree. You know, so the verbiage is probably really close because he was an assistant offensive coordinator for 40 years.
Kyle Shanahan could make Ryan Leaf.
Yeah, but KOC
Back.
makes guys look good too, though. KOC is another one of those guys. He would make them look good, but I mean, I think for Minnesota, it's I agree with JB. They're looking for them. Aaron Rodgers might be out of their price range of what they can readjust, and maybe they can get Jefferson and some other guys to move money around, and redo some deals. But even then,
there's more breaking news out of Minnesota.
I think
Addison got arrested.
I think Rodgers is retiring, but go ahead.
Joshua Addison was arrested at 3 a.m.
Jordan Addison.
Monday. Josh Addison, whatever his name is. Addison got arrested for a third time. This time it's for criminal trespass at a casino.
Yeah, that's what's weird to me. That one's like, I got to read more into that because they didn't give much details, but I was like, wow, Addison just got arrested again. And look at the Vikings already know they can't pay Addison when he's due. His contract just became less. But I mean, I wonder if there's anything to go there, Jeremy, or if that's one of those bullshit arrests in Tampa.
No,
like, what did he actually do?
It didn't happen in Tampa. It happened in Osceola County, which is outside of the Tampa.
Well, I know where Osceola County is, but it's right outside of Tampa at the Hard Rock Casino, which is right outside of Tampa Bay. So I mean, I've driven past it a million times. I'm just wondering. It'll be interesting to see what the whole deal on this charge is. Put that way.
You guys brought up the name Malik Willis. Can I throw a team out there for you to really kind of think about? How about the Indianapolis Colts?
Yep.
I don't think Green Bay lets Malik Willis walk, though.
Well, they better come up with some money because
they're going to have to pay him. Somebody's going to offer him a bunch.
So here's the thing, and Jason, please, I think you probably might know this better than us, but here's what I've heard on Malik Willis from my co-host in the morning, who's a Packers fan. That the Packers want to keep him, and they'll pay him good backup money. We're talking $8 million a year. That's good backup money, right? But the only way that Malik leaves, because Malik has expressed it, that he wants to stay in Green Bay, that the only way he leaves if he's offered starting money to go to a place like Indianapolis, where he knows he's going to probably start for at least half the season and have a shot to be the full-time starter if he performs that first half of the season. Jason, what have you heard, though, from Green Bay?
Yeah, from what I've heard on the Packers side, Green Bay wants to keep him as the backup. However, they also are aware that Malik wants to test the waters. He wants to see what he can get on the open market. And he's turned out to be a more than reliable backup. And so it only stands to reason that he wants to be a starting quarterback. With that being said, I don't think the Packers will offer him something to stay there. But if he and his agent turn it down, I don't think Brian Gutekunst and Ed Policy are going to cry over spilled milk. I think they will shake Malik Willis's hand if he decides to go and say, thank you for contributing to the success of our team. Good luck elsewhere. And then they'll look into the draft to probably bring in another quarterback, or they'll go on the open market and look for a veteran to bring in to back up Jordan Love. But yeah, you're right, Ken. From what I'm hearing, it's 50-50 on Malik. If he wants to leave, great. If not, they're more than willing to welcome him back.
He'll get Tyson Bagent money or maybe a little bit better. Because I put Malik in that class. There's like 5 teams who have backups who, when their starters go out, there's almost don't miss a beat. Green Bay is one of those 5 teams, right? Where they've got a really good backup. Baltimore, you're another one of those teams. Your backup is like 1B to your 1A. I think.
Oh, there better be a Tyler Huntley extension. There better be a Tyler Huntley extension. But what do you guys?
We feel that way about Bagent in Chicago. So I think Malik Willis, unless he can get starter money, I think Green Bay will offer him a pretty nice little deal to be the backup there. JB wanted to say.
Jeremy wants to speak.
Yep. I have the trade partner for Minnesota to get JJ because they're stupid enough to do it. And Hoss loves this team. It's the Saints.
Why would the Saints do that? Why would the Saints do that? Tyler Shuck is a better quarterback than Jason McCarthy.
To let him back up Shuck because Rattler is straight dog piss.
But so's JJ.
Yeah, but at least then they can let him sit. He isn't going to be a starter. They can develop him.
Hey, by the way, Tyler Shuck, Hoss, I have a Spencer Rattler card with part of his jersey here.
Oh, yeah, it might be worth the section of jersey that
we'll
is
say
in there.
That and $7 will get you a $7 cup of coffee.
Right.
Where do you guys think AJ Brown winds up? It ain't Philly. No chance.
I think AJ Brown's the number 1 receiver for
he has to be traded though, right?
For Drake May in 2026.
That's exactly what I said for New England.
Well, he needs to be traded though, correct?
He's in
the walk. They're going to cut him.
I don't know why they'd cut. I know why they'd cut him, but you know what? You know what team has enough money to do it? It might be crazy enough to do it.
New England.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh no. No,
he wants to go somewhere where they got a quarterback.
They're going to have a quarterback. They're going to have Mendoza. I would think that's what they're going to do in Las Vegas.
If they have Mendoza, they've got a good tight end, they got a decent running back. If they fix that offensive line just enough, he will be the guy. And that's like AJ Brown, his argument. He doesn't care about winning football games. That's obvious. He just wants to be the guy. It's obvious. That's all he wants to be. Well, in Vegas, you will be the guy at wide receiver if you go there.
Brock Bowers is better than AJ Brown right now.
But I think they're going to try to trade him. I mean, they're not going to get much, but I think they'll take a 5th rounder for him or a 6th rounder for him. And the Raiders are a team that have over $100 million in cap. They can absorb AJ Brown's contract. Say you will be the guy for our new hot stud quarterback Mendoza, and Raiders fans will go friggin' nuts because you know what about AJ Brown?
Wait a minute,
it's the Vegas mentality.
We're missing a very obvious spot. It does not have a number 1 receiver right this second.
Kansas City.
No, it's the man in the lower left-hand corner.
Green Bay.
He went to Green
Bay.
Got the money. He's the number 1 the second he walks in the door.
They don't got the money for it.
They got -$5 million going into the season.
Well, Jason, would you want AJ Brown in Green Bay?
I would want, absolutely. From a talent standpoint, I would want AJ Brown in Green Bay. However, with a contingency, I would want him in Green Bay with the understanding that you're going to play for what's on the front of the jersey, not what's on the back of the jersey. Okay, that's a tough sell for AJ Brown because Ken, you just mentioned it a couple minutes ago. AJ is all about AJ, just like Aaron Rodgers is all about Aaron Rodgers. So from a talent standpoint, yes, AJ Brown could come in and automatically give them a playmaker, a wide receiver. But he's not exactly Mr. Inspirational in the locker room. So it's a risk versus reward scenario. Do you really want to risk the talent? Do you really want to take on the reward of the talent while risk alienating a young locker room with young players? I don't know. That's a tough sell for me at this point.
And then,
That's why
Nick
I wasn't upset the Steelers let Pickens go.
And then Nick Burton asked, could AJ Brown go to Cleveland? They're another team in cap hell this year.
You still think letting Pickens go was a good idea? I mean, Pickens had like an all-pro season in Dallas. I mean,
And
come
he's
on.
going to want all
I mean,
pro
he
money
was
in the offseason.
tremendous.
Well, and the thing about Green Bay, like when you talk to Green, and I talk to Green Bay fans every day, right? And Green Bay is always like, dude, we're good. Like AJ, Golden had a good playoff game. Didn't have a great rookie year, but the playoff game was good. They love Romeo Dobbs. They like Christian Watson. If you talk to most Packer fans, Packer fans will tell you, no, we're good at tight end and wide receiver. We're good with our offense. We don't need a guy like AJ Brown. We need a safety. We need we need some defense. We need offensive line for a weirdness because we usually grow up in the backyard in the garden. Well, I guess we let the garden go, so now we don't have them growing anymore. But if you talk to most Green Bay fans, they'll tell you, no, we don't need a wide receiver. We need offensive line. We need other things. Like I think he'd be more of a distraction for Green Bay, to be honest with you, and they don't have the money.
Well, Ken, you're right. We have other pressing needs besides wide receiver. Offensive line being one of them. The defensive backfield, second. Getting more depth on the defensive line, third. The Green Bays have Swiss cheese in a lot of parts of their roster. So A.J. Brown would be a desired welcome addition, but the Packers need to look, the thing with A.J. Brown is this. If we get him, are you getting the hype or are you getting the talent? Are you getting A.J. Brown just because he's the star A.J. Brown, knowing that we have other needs on the roster that are more important, like young offensive line with a lot of depth, young defensive line with a lot of depth. Take some of that pressure off Micah Parsons. And by the way, get Keyshawn Nixon off my damn football team. So let's get a better cornerback. Let's get a better safety. Nate Hobbs can kiss the road goodbye as well. So Green Bay has to prioritize. And if I were putting A.J. Brown on that priority list, he's number 5 or number 6. We need offensive line, defensive line, safety, cornerback, and then A.J. Brown.
Now, conversely, the NFC North, if you guys haven't figured out, is a little bit of an arms race. It would add to that arms race because you look at Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago wide receiving rooms, and you're like, any team in the NFL would be happy to have that receiving room. Then you go to Green Bay, and most teams would be like, we're okay. So, I mean, it would definitely add to the NFC North arms race at wide receiver, but I agree with Jason. I think it's like 5th or 6th or not even on their radar of carry.
3 teams would want the Green Bay Packers wide receiver room right now, and I can name them. New England Patriots, because that receiver room's just okay. It's not great. Kansas City, definitely, because they got Rasheed Rice, who's stupid.
Right.
And the Raiders. All 3 of those teams would take that roster right now.
That's not saying.
Oh,
Here's
another one though, because
isn't Dobbs a free agent this year? He's going to get paid. Dobbs, isn't he a free agent?
Dobbs,
yes.
It's his last year.
Yeah.
He is.
But here's another one that I think we're missing as our group.
Ooh, the Titans.
What's that?
No. What about Buffalo?
The Bills need number 1 receivers because that guy number 17 can't do it all by
Keenan
himself.
Coleman did not have a great
Keon Coleman's in the doghouse.
Well, yeah, he had a
whatever
sophomore
reason.
slump. He had a sophomore
Davis
slump.
He hasn't been playing.
He was never going to be a number 1 to start with. Jamie,
No.
what do you think? I mean, AJ Brown? Do you go after him?
Yeah, sure. Sure. I mean, but he's, the guy's a talent. I mean, we need somebody that we can get the ball to,
Jamie,
and
but
and he may be a diva, but I don't think he's as bad as Diggs. So I at least can I can handle
The
that.
question would be, does he know the words of Mr. Brightside?
Oh, Nick Burton brings up another one that has money.
The Giants.
Giants. You put him with Neighbors.
Here's what you guys have to understand, and what a lot of fans and people don't understand. Good receivers have to call for the ball as much as it pisses everybody off. This is Rashard Bateman's prime in Baltimore. He's not calling for it. Good receiver, unless you're like a DK Metcalf situation where everybody else around you is, or you don't have to, or you maybe like Keyshawn with the Bucks. You have to do that. You have to call for the ball. So, and this is why it hurts, and they don't like that, and that's why he's leaving. But good
but then conversely go to Chicago. None of those guys call for the ball. I mean, like DJ there were games where DJ didn't have anything, and then you have the 2 Packer games where he was the dagger. Rome had minus that 4th down catch, only maybe saw the ball 1 or 2 other times in the game. I mean, you got a different side of that coin. If you got the teams like a Chicago or a Minnesota or JV's team, none of those guys call for the ball. You know why? Because every week it's someone different. And A.J. Brown was in that situation in Philadelphia. Every week it was someone different, and he got pissed off that it wasn't him every week.
But this is why DJ's not in Carolina, because he was calling for the ball. Now, maybe he's stopped now or there, but this is good receivers, right or wrong. This is what they do. This is how you get good receivers. Good receivers, and you have to, or you'll get overlooked, or you don't get the ball thrown to. It's very. I know people don't like it, but I think that's the problem. And Jalen Hurts probably just got tired of hearing it. And
you're not
get
wrong.
Out of my face.
Yeah, you're not wrong though. But at the same time, though, but then you like I said, there's that other side of the coin. You go to Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago, L.A. Rams, where they have a lot of people that they can throw the ball to, and you don't hear that. Why? Because they know that. Well, this week it's not me. Next week it may be me, and they're good with that because they understand that it's about their team, and they have a lot of really talented guys on their offense. And then you go to A.J. Brown, same situation. When Saquon's beating everyone to death running the ball, of course you're going to be smart. You're going to give the ball to him, and he's like, well, I don't want the damn ball or I'm not playing. Like, dude, you're winning games because your running back is curb stomping people. Like, one game it's going to be you, and the other game it's going to be Saquon. The other game it's going to be someone else.
Devontae Smith, yeah.
Yeah, there's that other side to that coin. Like you're not wrong, but then there's also got to be that piece where if you're on a very talented offense, you got to show that you're a team guy, that you'll lay the blocks down, that you're not going to bitch and cry like a little girl because it's not you every week. And A.J. Brown,
Devontae Smith is a number 1 receiver on both teams anyway. I think he is.
Right, but
I think that's the thing.
Right. The Bears and the Bills both embrace no block, no rock. If you're not going to block as a receiver, you don't get the ball.
JB had something too.
And don't forget, there was games where A.J. Brown was wide open and Hurts threw into coverage, and they lost games because of it, because of the disconnect. So this is where it's a problem. If you're that bad in the locker room that you're making it so they don't even look at you when you're open, that's an issue.
He's going to be an interesting conundrum. I don't know. I think they'll try to trade him because they don't want to be on the hook for all the money if they cut him. Hopefully they can, look at, I think Vegas has enough money. They may do it. They need a receiver desperately to pair up with Mendoza, because then they'll get Mendoza, A.J. Brown, Brock Bowers, Austin, and they got the running back and Genty. I think Vegas would feel pretty comfortable if they can do something with that offensive line, that they would then have a functional offense.
I tried. He already left. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel would fit in well there in Detroit, huh?
Yes, he would. I had the ball gag, the rope, and the chair to tie him up in the back of the van just in case. I borrowed the work van, but he was already gone.
By the way, I think we saw 12 quarterbacks play on Sunday. I'm not sure one carry just seemed like Josh Allen did. I have a question for you guys. Who is the best, but who is the most freakishly talented quarterback, or maybe biggest talented quarterback you've ever seen?
My guy, Josh Allen, he definitely is.
I can name 3 old school guys before him right now. Randall Cunningham, Steve Young, and way before my time, but I've watched film on him, Fran Tarkenton.
Those guys were great, but they didn't hurdle over Anthony Barr like Josh Allen did his rookie year.
Oh, they
I was
hurdle
thinking
guys.
Warren Moon.
Not the way Josh Allen hurdles people, the way Allen does it.
Jeremy, I thought you
The
were going to
best-
go to
best-
Warren Moon.
Best two athletes I ever saw were John Elway. I'm not talking about the best ever, but athleticism, John Elway and Michael Vick. In terms of
Two more.
Vic was
older
ridiculous.
guys, of course.
I'm not going to lie. Cordell
yeah.
Stewart was pretty athletic.
Of course, old time guys that don't play anymore, but okay.
I think
One of-
Allen, Elway, and I'm going older than all you guys. How about slinging Sammy Baugh?
Yeah, for his time. Yeah, I mean, you asked me this question in backstage, and I told you Steve Young right out of the chute.
I did too.
There's no question about that. Yeah. Randall Cunningham's another one. But can I really give you one that nobody gives any love to for whatever reason? And I think if he'd have played on a better team that he wasn't fourth or fifth on the pecking order, he would have gotten a lot more love, is Dante Culpepper.
Yes.
You know, same in McNabb too.
Dude, he was huge. He was what,
McNabb was
6'5", 290 pounds.
For Culpepper's size, he had ridiculous speed, could throw it out of the stadium. He probably was Josh Allen before Josh Allen, if you really want to sit there and look at it.
I like some of the old
I'm gonna-
school guys.
Those two guys,
like,
he had those receivers that were insane. You know, you got Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Jake Reed.
I
What
like
are you
some of those
gonna
guys. I
do?
mean, I don't know if they're really old school. I guess for some people they're old school, but for me, maybe not. They're not as old school as much. But I like guys like
Jim McMahon.
Butler, Favre. You know, the gunslingers who would also lower their shoulder and hit you when they ran with it. Like Cutler would legit lower the shoulder and hit you. So would Favre, and these guys would play through any injury or attempt to with until their coaches shut them down.
Wait
You
a
know,
minute.
Rich Gannon was another one like that.
Quarterback in the NFC Championship game.
Tough. Well, like that NFC Championship game, he had a tore ACL, and he's like, put me in, and he's like, well, they're like, no, we're not going to. You're done. He's like, well, I'm gonna ride the bike, and then you're gonna put me in, and Cutler was like that, and Favre was like that. Rich Gannon, another one. I remember games with Rich Gannon's got cuts on his hands from getting stepped on. It's like whatever. He's still up there slinging the rock. Like those guys, they may not be the best runners. They may not be hurdling people, but man, those guys would initiate contact. They didn't care. They would tackle someone. They would do stuff. They're like, like Pat McAfee was as a puncher. Like Pat McAfee or Sebastian Janikowski would try to take your head off if you got to them.
It's McAfee.
The quarterbacks like that,
Not
they rank
McAfee,
high.
McAfee.
I always thought Ben Roethlisberger as an athlete. It's probably maybe me saying
He
that.
was a
is probably
dual threat when
surprising.
he started.
But-
He was.
But like
If he was
You
if he was faster, you're right.
Ben Roethlisberger would just throw people off like I've never seen anybody at the quarterback. They would tackle him and just Dion and he would just toss him. Like I've never seen
I
that.
agree.
I can't think of anybody do that.
There's
besides
another
Ben
one we
Roethlisberger.
haven't mentioned.
And
Steve
Josh
McNair.
Allen is the other one that does it.
Oh
He's just
man, the late Steve McNair. Jason, do you have one for us?
Well, I actually have a few. Dan Marino was and still is my favorite player of all time. Dan Marino revolutionized the quarterback position, the way it was played at the time. Still, to this day, has the quickest release of any quarterback that played the game. And for anyone who is going to sit back and say he does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, yeah, wrong argument to have. Another quarterback.
People say Jim Kelly didn't, and he did.
I agree. Kelly needs to be there as well. Another quarterback that I
He
saw.
is already in there. 2002, he was inducted.
Thank you, Jamie. Another quarterback that I saw that I was mesmerized by was Warren Moon of the Houston Oilers. Warren Moon, Ernest Givens, Haywood Jeffries ran the old run and shoot offense to a T. Those guys were about as prolific of an offense as any team in the late 80s and the early 90s. Warren Moon, in my estimation, if you look at his CFL numbers and combine them with his NFL numbers, one of the top 10 passers of all time in the history of professional football, not just NFL, but CFL. The third quarterback I really was mesmerized by is one of Jeremy's picks, Randall Cunningham of the Philadelphia Eagles. Randall Cunningham, he was big and physical, but he was also quick. And you didn't see that out of a lot of quarterbacks. So for me, Marino, Moon, and Cunningham, John Elway would be on that list, as would be Jim Kelly, because I really admired the hell out of Jim Kelly, Jamie.
The one thing though for the current
Cunningham-
guys, like
Wait, can I say
Okay.
something to Jason though about Warren Moon? Because
go ahead, Jamie.
yeah, Jason,
Go ahead, Jamie. What's up?
guess what? Can I? You know who Warren Moon's a victim of, right? Is Kevin Gilbride, because the problem with that run and shoot offense was they didn't do a good job taking time off the clock. Because I don't know if you remember the comeback game when they were up 35-3. Kevin Gilbride should have tried to run it down Buffalo's throats to kill clock, but he kept sending Warren Moon out to pass, and that's why they lost.
Yeah, but I mean, when Warren Moon did pass, he did it extremely well. There was a time when the run and shoot was the offense that everybody wanted to run. The Atlanta Falcons did the run and shoot for a number of years. I believe the Cleveland Browns did it for a while when they had Bernie Kosar.
The problem
Jerry
was
Glanville brought
you
it
couldn't
in.
run the ball out of it. That was the problem.
Well, regardless of how well they did, Jamie, and I hear you, regardless of how well they did, what to me, Warren Moon threw one of the greatest deep passes I've ever seen any quarterback throw. Warren Moon can be back at the 20-yard line and throw an 80-yard pass without breaking a sweat. And he was accurate. He was pinpoint accurate. He had occasions where he could overthrow a guy, but every quarterback does. But, when I watched the Oilers with him and Ernest Givens and Haywood Jeffries, and Rich, who was their tight end? I don't remember who their tight end was.
Oh,
But I mean,
man.
you get my point of right.
Well,
it was a great
Malarkey
offense
for a little
but then
while.
They stopped running it because teams
They had
realized-
Wycheck as the tight end, I think.
Thank you. Yeah,
Wycheck,
Jamie, I get your point, Jamie, because it was a one-dimensional offense.
Yeah,
it
it
was,
didn't do a good job with taking
Right.
time off the clock at the end of games.
A
But
guy
anyway, those are my
that's
guys.
a guy who's one of the current guys. I mean, obviously Josh Allen does some crazy things, but a guy who none of us said, I'm going to say it, I'm going to sound like a homer because he's my guy. But Mr. Houdini, the Iceman, I mean,
Jimmy
fastest
Man.
quarterback in the league when running, right? He like, what have you watched Micah Parsons trying to chase him down? He can't catch him. The guy escaped sacks like Houdini. He threw that in that Week 16 Packers game, in the game where they had to bend it like Beckham. The kickers were having to, shoot off left to hope it goes in the middle. He threw a ball that was in the air for 60 yards. It was an absolute dime strike to DJ Moore for that game-winning touchdown. So he's got the arm strength and the accuracy down. And he's not there yet, but Caleb is going to be in that conversation because you already look at 6 comebacks this year. Only the second quarterback in NFL history, the youngest to do it. But you look at some of his other things, like Caleb's going to be in that conversation. Like,
Are you putting him in
he's
the
so
Hall of
he's
Fame?
so elusive in the when he's back there. The only way you're going to sack him is if you can bring all 4 corners in on him. And even then, against the Ravens, they brought all 4 corners in, and you're like, oh, he's done. All of a sudden, wait a minute, he's still up and running with the ball? How the hell? I mean, he's Houdini for a reason. I think Caleb will be in that conversation. If he's not already there.
Are you putting him in the Hall of Fame?
I'm going to say Lamar Jackson just to make Rap feel good.
I'm saying
Caleb
Adam,
Williams in the Hall of Fame?
he's getting there, Adam. I mean, if you look at Caleb
I
right now,
just want to make sure what I'm hearing.
no, I mean he's not. I'm not going to do like what Joe does with Brock Bowers and give him a gold jacket. But look at Caleb needs to be is making himself part of these conversations because look at how elusive he is. Look at the ice that his leadership.
Who
He's
called him the
not
Iceman?
Josh Allen yet, but he's getting there. He's starting
Who
to
called
force
him the
himself in
Iceman?
that conversation.
Where are you
Here's what
putting the
Stephen A.
Iceman?
Smith said. Here's what Stephen A. Smith said about Caleb this week. He said already he has him as the best players quarterback of all time.
Dude, Stephen A. Smith's
That's not
sucking
saying
fucking
much.
Fedor Sanders' dick too. I don't want to hear it.
I mean, well, he's number
No,
one
but I mean,
Bears
no,
single
but
season past. He
that's-
does hold a lot of Bears records already. He does.
Yeah, how far away is he right
Yeah,
now? I
being
don't
the
think
best
that-
Bears
I'm just
quarterback
saying.
of all time is not a huge accomplishment. They've never been known for quarterbacks.
No.
Been known for a lot of other stuff, defense and running backs and that kind
But
of
if
deal.
he
But
continues on the trajectory that he's at right now and the way he's been progressing, and he's still got room to grow, we know he hasn't hit the ceiling yet. You can see it. There's still improvement. He is starting to force himself into that conversation.
I've already asked my trivia question, but then I know Rich has got some. Might involve all of us. So
yeah,
it's sexy. Let's go for it. Try and stump me.
I got a couple. This one, it's not necessarily a collective, but here we go. The only team to have never played on Thanksgiving Day.
My team.
I thought the Jaguars.
Who are the Jacksonville Jaguars?
He would be correct. That is the Jaguars. I thought that was absolutely insane. You would have figured they would have circulated in there by now.
Yeah, Houston played Detroit a
Ken,
few
this
years
one
ago.
is specifically for you. How many rushing titles did Walter Payton win in his career?
I think in '85, didn't Dickerson win in '85? I don't think he has that many.
I don't think he has any.
I don't think he has any, to be honest. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think he has any.
One.
3.
One.
Okay.
One.
Because people would say it would be 85, but Eric Dickerson had it in 85.
Yeah, wasn't that the year Dickerson
It's
rushed
one of those
for
crazy
2,000 some odd
deals.
yards?
It's kind of like the deal with Hank Aaron that he never won a home run title.
Well, Earl Campbell was the running back in Houston at the start of Walter Payton's career.
Well, I mean, like with the Dickerson, you're like people though would say though, honestly, most people would say it'd be, he probably won in 85, but that's what made that NFC Championship game in Chicago such a big deal because Dickerson was the running champ that year, and the Bears held him to 40, 50 yards in that game at Soldier Field, and it was like that was the big thing. Like if anyone was going to beat the 85 Bears, it was going to be the Rams with Dickerson running the ball, and it was a very cold day on the AstroTurf because it was AstroTurf back then at Soldier Field, and they stuffed Dickerson. And yeah, so Walter, it's funny that Walter, you'd think he'd have more, but yeah, I thought it was 0. But what year did he win it, Rich?
1977.
Yep. But here, this one is I think this one's gonna take a minute. If nobody looks it up, this one's gonna take a minute. Who is the only player in NFL history to be credited with throwing a touchdown pass to himself?
Tom Brady.
Nope.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Marcus Mariota.
That would be a no.
Patrick Mahomes. He throws the ball to himself all the time.
Nope.
How far back do we have to go, Rich?
Why have I should know this.
We're talking less than 50 years. How
Oh,
about
crap.
that?
Who's Brett Favre?
No.
No.
I'm gonna say Roger Craig, San Francisco 49ers.
No. I
Bob
will have a
Avellini.
hint at some point whenever you guys all decide you want one. I will have
Who
a hint.
is Cordell/Stewart?
No.
Bob Avellini. There's an
Ooh.
answer.
That's a
Deep
good
dive
guess,
on the third
Cordell.
quarter.
That's what. I was thinking.
This is like early. This is like 90.
Dude, Avellini played forever too, didn't he?
Peter Tom Willis.
No, I know this one. Brad Johnson of the Vikings in 1997.
Peter Tom Willis, baby.
It's Brad
Now
Johnson.
that's a football
Johnson.
nerd right there. I'm still on Peter Tom Willis. Like if
Right.
you know that name, boy, you've watched a lot of daggone football in your life.
Thank
You know
you,
the name
Rob.
Peter Tom Willis.
Thank you, Rob.
That's
I
Steve
think that's
Fuller.
more of a compliment than a nerd.
We're going Bears quarterbacks. How about Steve Fuller?
Oh God, there you go.
Mike Pagel.
Basketball.
Or even better than that. Oh shoot.
That's another one. You start saying
wait,
Mike
wait.
Pagel. That's
Ah.
serious.
How about
Well,
Archie
I got
Lindsey?
one better for you. What defense didn't cover him when he lobbed the ball in that game in '97?
Basketball team runs it.
Oh, what defense? What now?
What defense was Brad Johnson
Oh,
facing
man.
when they didn't cover him?
Oh.
And it's not my
Detroit,
Lions.
if you saying it.
No, it's
Green
not
Bay?
the Lions. It's not the Bears, and it's not Green Bay. It's nobody in the North. Think about
No,
it. '97.
He was playing for Tampa then, right? No, he wasn't with
the
Tampa
Vikings.
then.
He was with the Vikings.
He was
Was it
a
against?
Viking.
Was it against the Buccaneers?
Same division.
Well, yeah, it was the Central back then.
Saints.
Yeah.
No.
So, Rich, what's the answer to your question?
Oh,
Brad
so
Johnson.
it either has to be
It
the
was.
Buccaneers or the Saints, then probably
It was the Panthers.
the Panthers.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, my hint was going to be he won a Super Bowl.
like I think Jason will know this, but how many former Bears quarterbacks were also Packer quarterbacks?
Oh boy, that's a really good question. How many former Bears quarterbacks were Packer quarterbacks?
Jim McMahon was one for sure. I know that.
Yeah.
The
Man was-
He was
basketball kind of.
I'm also going to say
Am I close with 6?
The basketball.
I want to say Chris Chandler, but I don't think Chandler played. I know Chandler played for the Bears, but I don't think he played for Green Bay. I don't remember him playing for the Packers.
Basketball.
What about?
Jesus.
Oh man, Ken, you're taking me back a ways here, buddy.
I think the basketball.
Wait a minute. I know this one. Hold on.
Oh, what about no, Don Mikowski never played for the Bears.
Magic Man never
No,
played for
but
the Bears.
Zeke Bretkowski did.
Bartkowski.
Yep.
Basketball.
Zeke Bretkowski played for both.
Bratkowski, yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
There was somebody else.
Jim
here.
McMahon, I
Was there
remember
one or
that
two
one.
other ones.
But I know he
Well, Jim McMahon was the greatest troll job in the history of troll jobs before that was a thing. One I thought you would have gotten was Mike Tomzak.
Zach. No, seriously, that's who I was thinking of. But I couldn't get the name out of my mouth. Thank you. Seriously,
Zeke
Mike Tomzak.
Bertowski, Mike Tomzak, Tim Boyle,
Bobby
Bobby
Douglas.
Douglas, Jack Cochran, Cannon, George Blanda, J.R. Boone, and of course, Mr. Troll Job before that was a thing because he wore his Bears jersey to the White House when Green Bay won the championship with them on the team.
Okay,
That's another. There's another one. Mike
By the way,
Thompson.
Ken, didn't Mike
That's
Thompson
Tomzak.
start the
He started out as a
fall?
backup for the Steelers.
Right. Yep.
Started for the Steelers too. Yeah.
And what's
Yeah,
funny
he
is I
was
He was
Started
Bradshaw
well.
as backup when he retired.
Don't forget
you know,
Bobby
so-
Douglas.
And the other funny thing is, like, if you go with recent Bears and Packers quarterbacks, who has the most rings? The answer to that question, ironically, is Jim McMahon.
That must have been a really long time ago.
Favre only had one. Rodgers had one. McMahon had two.
And then there's everybody's favorite backup
Because he
quarterback.
was far as backup.
Right.
There's everybody's favorite backup quarterback that got paid by the Seahawks because of that Thanksgiving game versus the Lions.
Matt Flynn.
He
Yeah,
ended
Matt
up
Flynn.
playing for the Bears.
Yeah,
He
that
also
went the other
played
way.
for the Packers.
By the way, I have a good question for Jamie. Jamie,
Yeah.
you might be able to remember this too, Rav. Which Jack quarterback became infamous in a famous game involving the Buffalo Bills? Involving a famous playoff game involving the Buffalo Bills.
Mark Bruno.
Mark Brunell.
No.
Rob Johnson.
Yes.
Mm.
Rob Johnson stole the Muse City Miracle game because Wade Phillips was a piece of you know what and didn't stall Doug Flutie.
I think if you put Rob Johnson and Josh Johnson together, they played for every team in the NFL.
If you like and put Octavio Deltel, they would have
Pretty
played
damn
in
close.
every.
Although, guess what? Though Johnson did drive him down the field for that game-winning field goal. That was a forward pass. That was a
You know
bad
what? I want to go
call.
back to Aaron Rodgers for a minute because this just hit me. Aaron Rodgers might sign with the Vikings because then he gets two more chances to beat Green Bay and become part of that club of quarterbacks who've beaten every team in the NFL.
He should
Yeah,
just
the club of
retire, but
32.
that's okay. Steve.
Yeah.
What did y'all think of Aaron this year? The way he played
Played really well.
Oh,
Really well.
overall.
He had moments where he had the old Rodgers, but I don't know. I think some of it was Pittsburgh was a little dysfunctional offensively. I think if he went to Minnesota, he'd be much better
They
than
were
he was in
dysfunctional
Pittsburgh.
the past 19 years, hence why the
Yeah, I
coach
know. But I mean,
resigned.
I don't think that offense was
little.
like Aaron did what he could with it, but I think actually, if he would have gone to Minnesota, I think he would have been better in Minnesota with KOC than he was in Pittsburgh. I think he played well enough in Pittsburgh that he could say, you know what, I've got another year or two in the tank. And I
Mike
think a
Tomlin's
team
a
like
Mamaloo.
Minnesota, he would actually do well there because of their system.
And the
There are a
weapons.
couple teams I think that if he went to, he would
Ken,
still look good.
wait. Ken, you're missing the biggest glaring point in this comparison. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson,
Right.
Jordan
weapons.
Naylor.
I said that.
Okay, now you go to Pittsburgh. You got DK Metcalf, Pat Fryermuth, and crickets.
Yeah, I know. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. He'd do better in Minnesota.
Juju Smith,
They're-
baby.
they're-
Juju Smith, his favorite fucking receiver.
He would do better in
Jonnu
Minnesota.
Smith and Calvin Austin and those guys. No, no.
Yeah, he would do
The
better in
Steelers
Minnesota
do
than he
not
did.
have a number 2.
So
I've
he
been
did
preaching
well
this.
enough in Pittsburgh where I think like there are a couple teams where he would look good at next year, Minnesota being one of them, because I think he was good enough to show that he can go to a place like Minnesota and do well.
Here's what I can tell you, Ken. And I realize if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But if the Steelers had the Vikings receiving core, they'd be going to the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why Aaron would do good to go to Minnesota. We're saying the same thing, just a little differently. I think it would make sense for Rodgers to go to Minnesota if he's looking to get one more ring. If you're looking for teams, if he's looking to get one more ring, and you're like, where can I go to get it? Minnesota could be his best shot.
Yeah, but you were talking about, what we thought of Rodgers this year. If Rodgers had those kind of weapons, we would have seen a Rodgers type year.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Weapons.
He didn't have those weapons, and he still had games where you saw that. So I'm like, he even with the shittier wide receiving core, he had a couple games. You're like, okay, 5 touchdown games where he was able to do some things. That's what I'm saying. I think he's still got a little bit of gas in that tank. Where if he goes to a Minnesota team where it's just they need him, and that's the icing on the cake, so to speak. I think if he wants a ring, that's his best opportunity for teams that need a quarterback next year. Because if I'm Aaron Rodgers, would I want to stay in Pittsburgh with a new head coach next year? Probably not. But if I want to win a ring, where am I going to go? That needs a quarterback. The only one that sticks out that's red in a position where if he goes there, he knows he's going to. A, they already had a winning record, which Minnesota did do. B, they got a good defense for the most part. They got a great wide receiving core. They got a coach who's known for doing things with quarterbacks that he probably respects KOC. I think Aaron to Minnesota actually makes sense in some jacked up way that I hate.
Well, let me throw this at you. He had 2 games all season where he had more than 2 touchdowns. He had 6 games that he threw for under 200 yards, including a game where he threw for 139 and another one where he threw for 117. So, yes, he only threw 6 picks. I get that. But my goodness, there was no, even when he had those 2 4-touchdown games, it was the first game of the season against the Jets where he went 22 of 30 for 244. And the other game was the game against Cincinnati where he went 23 of 34 for 249. That's not Aaron Rodgers type numbers. If he's going to throw for 4 touchdowns, Aaron Rodgers should be throwing for 350, 400 yards.
I think in Minnesota, you could do that, though, still.
I understand.
I think Aaron will have. I don't know if he wants to play anymore. I don't think he goes back to Pittsburgh without Tomlin. But I do think there are going to be. There's still too many teams. There's like 6, 7 teams still looking for a quarterback. So maybe 4. I can eliminate the Raiders and the Jets because they're going to draft in the draft,
right?
1 and 2. But there's like 4 squads. Certainly Arizona. Certainly you mentioned Minnesota. You mentioned it could be the Colts. It could be. So I think Aaron, if he wants to play, can keep playing. But whatever that says about the rest of the league is a whole different thing.
I think Minnesota is his best option, though, in terms of the receiving core. That team in general is on a whole, because of those teams you mentioned, Charles. Who's got the better defense? The Vikings. Who's got a better receiving core? The Vikings.
No, I agree. I agree. I think that might be the only place where he wouldn't retire would be Minnesota.
Yeah,
I think that would make a lot of sense.
Now, the bad side of that, you're just trying to be like Brett Favre. Well, hey, Favre got to the NFC Championship game doing that, so that might not be a bad thing.
Brett Favre was at least in better
you brought up
wanted to play. Rodgers doesn't.
You brought up a good point, though, Rav. You brought up Arizona. Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson, Trey McBride. You got the running backs. The defense is not horrible.
Going to have a new head coach.
Arizona might not be that bad of a option either. I
It
don't know that
depends
he's
on the
over
head
there.
coach.
Kyler
Depends on
Murray's
who
going to
they
be
hire.
available for somebody too, and we're talking about
He's going
quarterbacks.
to
Kyler
Pittsburgh.
Murray, somebody is
If
going to
Kings-
take Kyler Murray, whoever it is.
If
I mean,
Kingsbury
for Arizona,
goes,
Rich, I
I
agree
promise
with you.
you.
When you look at the personnel, but it depends on who they hire to be their head coach.
if Kingsbury goes to Pittsburgh, I promise you, Kyler Murray will be wearing a Steelers jersey next year.
So how
Right now.
who does Arizona need to hire to make Aaron Rodgers go, I'd rather go there than Minnesota?
Robert
Is it
Saleh.
Harbaugh?
McCarthy.
Robert
Mike
Saleh.
McCarthy.
No, Robert Saleh is the reason. Aaron Rodgers is the reason why Robert Saleh got fired, dude.
Yeah.
So
You
if
don't
McCarthy
want
goes to Arizona, do you think Aaron and McCarthy back together
Robert
again? I mean,
Saleh
that's
doesn't want to deal with
interesting.
him again.
That's
He
interesting.
can't.
I don't know how they feel about each other. That'd be interesting.
I think McCarthy would be good. I think he
Especially
would
with
like
the
the
talent
McCarthy
they've
thing.
got down there.
Yeah.
He would like the McCarthy
It could
thing
be fun.
because you don't have to pick up a playbook
Well, they
at
won a
all.
Super Bowl together.
He doesn't. He can spend all summer doing whatever
He can be
the
on.
hell he's
He
going
can
to
have
do. He can.
ayahuasca every
He
week.
would know the whole thing.
Yep. Guys, I hate to do this, but I got to
Yeah.
bug out.
Yeah,
I do
got
too.
a bunch of stuff to get done and all that.
All
so,
right,
and
all
I know we
right.
gotta shut down.
I will. Do you want me to end this stream now?
Oh, I don't care. I'm just gonna bug out.
Bears
That's
beat
all.
the Rams. That's all you need to know.
Oh, by the way, I do have one more question for everybody.
Give me the
Why are
Rams
you
63 to
upset
5.
that Josh Allen beat my Jags on Sunday?
That was a good game.
They
It
did.
was a good game.
I wanted to.
But I appreciate
knew
it,
when we
boys.
scored with 4 or 5 left. I'm like, oh no, we're toast.
I mean, Josh Allen is just a thoroughbred. I mean, I think he's the best quarterback left in the whole tournament, and Matt Stafford. So
I like
that's
that.
that's
I
why
like
they won.
that. Chicago versus
Rainbow
Pats Super Bowl. I like that.
It could happen. It could happen.
But
I
I'm
have
not
to get
saying
out
it
of here.
won't, but right now, my pick to go to the Super Bowl is the Seahawks. Just because
Wasn't
they
that
have the
80s?
home field
No.
advantage.
86,
85 Super Bowl 20.
85. I'm sorry.
Be a rematch 40 years later.
And by the way, who did the Patriots beat in that year's AFC Championship game?
Was it Buffalo?
Bill.
San
Miami.
Diego, wasn't it?
Miami. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. That's right. Because it was the only team that beat the Bears that year was Miami. Miami
No,
lost.
the Bills were
Bro.
2-4. Ken, the Bills were 2-14 there and had Hank Bullock as their head coach.
No, but now I
Real-
remember that when he said Miami's right because
85.
Miami's the only reason the Bears were 15-1 and not undefeated. So that who knows what that Super Bowl would have been? That would have been it.
And real quick, real quick. You don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Anybody think Miami has a chance on winning the Hurricanes? Anybody think Indiana has any chance to lose?
I think that Indiana defense is way too smothering because it's not just their front four they're winning with; it's the back end too. You look at their. Trying to think of that safety's name I like from there, Amari Farrell, and then they got D'Angelo Pond. Then you got in the middle, you got what is it, Aiden Fisher, the linebacker, and then the lineman. They are just smothering people at all three levels of the defense.
I'm telling you right now, Miami's the most physical team in the NFL play on you. And if Miami plays like their Kingston against Ohio State, I think Miami can flat out win the game. By the way, Hoss, you've been a little quiet, so what do you think about Houston's chance of winning in Foxborough? I mean, Houston's never been to a championship game. Could the Texans make one this year?
I'm about to cause Reek chaos in a second after I answer that for you. Anyhow, the way they beat the Steelers, I think they can get it done. I think it's going to be a tight, close game, but I doubted them against the Steelers. I thought it was going to be close. I didn't think they were going to pull it off, but I think they can hang with it. That defense is stacked. Oh, and A.J. Brown sucks ass and needs to retire.
I'm predicting one more game at Highmark Stadium.
How can that happen?
It's not happening. The Chargers lost, dude.
Right, but aren't the Bills the 5 seed?
6 seed.
Yeah, they're the lowest seed still in. So
So that's why if Houston wins, they'll host. If Buffalo upsets Denver and Houston beats New England, Texans will host the AFC Championship.
Right.
But if Denver wins and Houston pulls it off, Houston will still have to travel.
Yep.
But that Broncos-Bills game is going to fucking change the whole scenario of the playoffs, because now that everyone's basically out of the fucking way for Josh Allen, the only one left that really is going to wreck him is Bo Nix. If he can beat Bo Nix, he can probably win it all this year. This is his last shot.
But that Texans defense, dude, they sacked Allen 8 times in the last game.
Mm-hmm.
When do you ever hear Josh Allen getting sacked 8 times? Like, never.
Well, whenever you ever.
I will say this about the Texans: if their defense actually gets to the Super Bowl and win, I think they're in the conversation as one of the all-time great defenses.
Yeah, that's how the 2001.
I think that's a conversation.
I'm telling you this. Houston.
They're saying it from experience. Charles, they're saying it from experience. Your 2000 Ravens did the same thing, except I think CJ Stroud's a little bit better than Trent Dilfer, but that's
I don't know, not the CJ Stroud I saw last night. CJ Stroud couldn't even hold on to the ball.
He's better than Trent Dilfer ever was.
CJ had a tough game. About that. CJ had a tough game because the Texans have no offensive line, which that's
right. Nico Collins was in concussion protocol, probably won't play this weekend.
That's
as much as I hate that.
Trent Dilfer got fired from you.
Hold on, Jeremy's trying to speak.
As much as I hate to say it, Hoss, that's why I got the Pats winning this game, is because of your offensive line, because they're the only defense that plays defense that you're facing right now like that. If you were playing Denver, I would feel the same way, because you'd have to go to Denver.
And that's what they need.
Greg May hasn't seen that. That Texans defense is for real, though.
And so's the Pats defense. Go ask Justin Herbert. He was hit 30 times that game.
Yet Houston sacked Josh Allen 8 times. When does Josh Allen ever get sacked 8 times?
At Wyoming?
I think that Texas defense, if they can go, you're really putting them with the Bucks and the Bears and these guys are really good. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if they do, you really got to consider that. I mean, the way they play, considering their offensive line.
No, Houston's not anywhere close to the Legion of Boom, the no-fly zone Broncos. Relax.
It's going to be low scoring.
I think that game's first team to 20 wins, if that. Right. It might be 17-13.
If they pull this off, it won't be no 30-6 like they did with the Steelers. I could see it being like a 21-17 score or 27-24. It's going to be a field one possession.
I think the Rams-Bears game's got a chance to shoot out.
I got the Bears beating the fucking Rams. They barely hung with Carolina. They ain't beating Caleb fingernail. When Caleb Williams finds this right fingernail polish, it's game over. The Bears are winning that game.
Yeah.
By the way, Stafford's still dealing with that finger injury himself. Now he's going to cold Chicago.
So Kelly can kiss it and it'll all be better.
And we already know Seattle's winning. George Kittle tore his ACL. Seattle's winning now.
Rams haven't looked good in weeks.
Showing up in prime time, and he's going to do what he does every time in prime time, and he's going to suck.
How many times did you watch the Seattle Rams game where they came back and won, and that was Sam Darnold on prime time?
0.
You keep missing that.
Oh, I've got a question for everybody right now. I've got a question
because it doesn't fit your little narrative.
I've got a question for everybody right now. One word.
Grifter, Ryan Clark lover.
Ooh.
Who the fuck likes Ryan Clark?
Nobody does. You do. You were a Steelers guy.
I should have known that.
Yeah, that's why. That's what I was thinking.
Were you hey, Jamie, were you hanging out with Laura Rutledge last night?
I wish, man. You kidding me?
Oh.
But she's married.
I'm not even throwing shots in the fucking dark. What the fuck?
Okay,
Go ahead,
so
Tom.
which job is the most prestigious? Which head coaching job is the most prestigious right now? One word.
Baltimore.
Baltimore and Pittsburgh is intriguing to get the job.
You can throw in 2 more on top of that just because they're
I
vacant.
was on Atlanta.
Atlanta, yep.
Atlanta's not as intriguing as the Giants because the Giants at least already have a franchise QB. They just have to be able to teach them to slide.
Oh, do you think Tomlin goes to the Falcons? I think he does.
No.
I think Tomlin goes to CBS.
I want him to go to Fox with Carissa.
What? Wait, time out.
What, 30 seconds or what?
One, Carissa's not on Fox anymore. She's on
Yes,
Amazon.
she is.
So that's no, she's not.
She's
on
on Fox and Amazon. She is.
When she's been on Fox this year.
For Fox NFL kickoff, she's on at 11 o'clock in the morning.
I don't watch it, so I guess I could be wrong, but I think she's been on Amazon Thursday night. I haven't seen her on Fox in years.
Because Fox, you gotta watch it at 11 in the morning to watch
I would
it.
take
It's
Ryan
live.
Clark on the field over Ryan Clark as the analyst and whatever the hell else he talks about.
He's not
Any
an
day of the
analyst. He's a
fucking week, man.
grifter, dude. Everybody knows that.
But you
I would
can
still
book
take
that
him on the
Tomlin. You can book that Tomlin right there. Matt Ryan is leaving that CBS, so they're gonna put Tomlin right there.
I'll tell you what I
I
think
think.
happened. I think that's what I think. Tom's CBS.
Come on, baby, 3. Yes.
What are you watching, Jamie?
Syracuse.
Basketball.
Oh, I thought I was watching like PBS or something.
No, I said 3.
He said 3, not 3.
Oh,
Why PBS? Why did that come from?
PBS is defunded, dude. Remember? So is NPR. But anyway,
Guys, I'm not trying to cut this short, but I've gotten very little sleep and I am cutting out.
I will. Okay, so for
I agree.
George, Adam, Ken, Hoss, Jamie, Jeremy, this is your truly Dylan signing off as we recap NFL Wildcard Weekend and Mike Tomlin leaving the Steelers. This is Dylan saying good night.
good night.
Adios.
Buenas noches.